All right, welcome to another deep dive. Today it's all about word-of-mouth marketing. Using this article someone sent in, how to empower word-of-mouth advertising for your business. It's from a site called L Reflections. We're going to see if we can unpack it, see what's actually useful, and maybe come up with some ideas of our own. You ready to dig in?
Absolutely. I think this is going to be a good one.
So, right off the bat, the article kind of states the obvious, right? You need a good product or service and top-notch customer service. Okay, sure, but we all know that. What I did find interesting was how they go beyond that. Like, how do you actually activate happy customers, turn them into, a marketing force?
Yeah, they talk a lot about online reviews, right? Google, Yelp, those industry-specific sites, we all see them. But how often do we actually leave reviews ourselves?
Honestly, not that often,
Yeah.
unless it was really good or really bad. Otherwise, I kind of just move on with my life.
Yeah. That's exactly it. So the article talks about making it super easy for customers. Follow-up emails, sure. But what else? I'm thinking, what about like a little card in the packaging? Or a tiny discount for leaving a review?
Ooh, that's smart. Feels less pushy than just straight up discounts. Like it's a thank you for your feedback kind of thing. And it ties into that whole referral program thing they mentioned.
Well, referral program sounds kind of formal, don't you think? Maybe something more like share the love or whatever fits the brand. But yeah, rewards, discounts, early access, those are all good. But the framing, how you present it, that's key.
Totally. I was like, you're not just getting a deal, you're part of this cool club,
Yeah.
you know? Now, the article also talks about user-generated content, getting customers to post photos, videos, tell their stories. What are some ways to encourage that beyond the typical contest?
Mhm.
Because those can feel a bit temporary.
Right. Contests are good, but think long term. What if you had like a customer spotlight on your website? Showcase the best content, give people recognition. Or even better, partner with a charity, and for every piece of content shared, you donate $1 or
Oh,
something.
that's awesome. Hits that feel-good button. And
Yeah.
D encourages people to share, and I'm guessing subtly nudges them towards content that makes them Andy the brand look good, right?
Exactly. Everyone wins. And when you have that shared purpose, it naturally leads to, well, a community.
Which is, surprise, surprise, the next big thing the article talks about. It's not just transactions, it's fostering that sense of belonging.
Right. They mentioned social media groups, forums. Those are good starting points. But to take it up a notch, what about exclusive online events? Just for your most engaged customers so they can interact with each other, with the brand on a deeper level.
That's a fantastic idea. Makes them feel like real VIPs. Speaking of insiders, the article kind of glosses over influencer marketing. I know you've got a ton of experience with this. What are some things you look for in a potential partnership? What are the red flags?
First thing I check, their past collaborations. Are they promoting like toothpaste one day and a gaming console the next? That's a sign they're maybe not super picky.
So consistency is key, huh?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Big time. You want someone who actually fits with your brand's values, who genuinely reaches your target audience. Not just someone with a big following, but the right following.
Quality over quantity. Got it.
Mm.
But then how do you make sure it's authentic? Because the article really hammers that point home, and rightfully so.
I like to involve the influencer in the creative process, not just here's the product, say nice things, brainstorm together, get their feedback, make them feel like they're part of the team.
Collaboration, not just a transaction. I like it.
Exactly. Give them some creative freedom, and you'll get content that feels way more genuine, which is what people respond to.
Makes sense. And speaking of responding, the article talks about personalization, right? Making each customer feel seen and valued, which logistically seems kind of tricky on a large scale.
It doesn't have to be super complicated, even small things. Use their purchase history, what they've looked at on your website to tailor email recommendations, or send a little birthday discount, just those little things that show you're paying attention.
It's those little details that stick with people, right?
Yeah.
Makes them feel like more than just a number. And it could be as simple as remembering their name if you have a physical store or their favorite product.
Exactly. It's about showing you care, going that extra mile.
Speaking of going the extra mile, the article talks about creating these share-worthy experiences. Sounds fun in theory, but what does that actually look like? Give us some examples.
Think about it this way. What would make you want to pull out your phone and tell everyone about it? Maybe it's something super creative with the packaging, or a little handwritten note in the order. Something unexpected that delights people.
Oh, I get it. It's like, I once got this package from a tiny online store, and they tucked in this little bag of local coffee beans as a thank you. Such a small thing, but it totally made my day.
And you probably told people about it, right? That's what we're aiming for. Those little unexpected touches that create a positive feeling, an emotional connection that people want to share.
Totally. I'm already getting ideas for my own business.
That's what we like to hear. And don't forget about exclusivity, a little bit of urgency. It's like that VIP feeling we talked about earlier.
Right, like offering early access to new products or limited editions.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you do that without it feeling, like a cheap marketing ploy?
It's all in how you frame it. Make it a reward for loyalty, like, hey, you're on our email list, you get a sneak peek before anyone else.
Yeah.
Or you're a top customer, so you get early access to the sale. Makes it feel special.
Smart. Gives them bragging rights. Which, let's be honest, everyone loves a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And it all ties back to, you guessed it, authenticity, which the article emphasizes over and over again.
It's not about tricking people into talking about you. It's about creating something so genuinely great that they can't help but share it.
Nailed it. And I think that's a great place to pause for now. We've covered a lot, and I'm already feeling inspired. We'll be back soon to dig even deeper into this word-of-mouth marketing thing.
Sounds good to me. Building a thriving community can really supercharge those organic referrals.
Right. But it's not just about having a Facebook group or a forum, is it? The article mentions these, but it feels like there's more to it than just setting up a space and hoping people show up.
Exactly. You need to cultivate that sense of belonging. Make it a place people want to be. Imagine instead of just a generic forum, you have themed discussions led by you or even guest experts. That adds real value.
Ooh, I like that. It turns it into more of an event, something people would put on their calendars. It also ties into the article's point about encouraging user-generated content, not just as a one-off contest, but as part of the community experience.
Think about it. What if you had a monthly challenge where customers share their creative uses of your product? The community votes on the winner, and the prize is having their creation featured on your website or even in your marketing materials. That gives them a real stake in the brand.
That's brilliant. It's recognition, it's engagement, and these generates content you can use. It's win-win-win.
Exactly. And that kind of ongoing engagement is what builds a truly loyal Florian, following the kind that naturally turns into word-of-mouth marketing.
Which leads us to the influencer piece. Now, the article mentions this, but in my experience, finding the right influencers is a whole other challenge. What are some red flags you look for, things that tell you this partnership might not be a good fit?
One thing I always pay attention to is an influencer's past partnerships. Do they jump from one brand to another that's completely unrelated, that suggests they're more interested in a quick paycheck than building a genuine connection with their audience?
So a history of promoting anything and everything is a bad sign.
It can be. You want someone who is selective about the brands they work with, someone who aligns with your values and resonates with your target audience.
It's like dating. You want to make sure your values and long-term goals are aligned.
Exactly. It should feel like a natural fit, not a forced partnership.
And then there's the whole question of authenticity, which the article emphasizes. It's not enough for an influencer to just say they love your product. It has to be believable. How do you ensure that?
Involve them in the creative process. Don't just send them a product and a script. Brainstorm ideas together, get their feedback, and encourage them to showcase your product or service in a way that feels authentic to their personal brand.
So it's about collaboration, not dictation.
Exactly. When you give influencers creative freedom, they're more likely to produce content that feels genuine and resonates with their audience.
That makes sense. It's about trust, right? Trusting the influencer to represent your brand in a way that feels authentic to them.
Absolutely. And it's about building a relationship based on mutual respect and shared goals.
Speaking of relationships, the article talks about personalization as a key strategy for making customers feel seen and valued. I'm curious, what are some of your favorite examples of personalization done well?
You know those recommended for you sections you see on websites like Amazon? When they're done well, they can be incredibly effective. It shows the customer that you're paying attention to their interests and that you're making an effort to provide them with a tailored experience.
Right, it's not just a generic list of products. It's based on your past purchases, your browsing history, even things you've liked or saved.
Exactly. It's about using data to create a more personalized and relevant experience for each individual customer.
And it's not just limited to online shopping. Think about personalized emails or even handwritten notes. Those small touches can make a big difference.
Absolutely. It's about going beyond the transactional and creating a more human connection.
The article then talks about creating share-worthy experiences. What are some examples that come to mind for you?
Think about brands like Zappos, known for their exceptional customer service. They go above and beyond to create memorable experiences, like sending a customer a new pair of shoes overnight when they realize their order was delayed. It's those unexpected acts of kindness that people can't help but talk about.
That's a great example. It's not just about the product itself, it's about the entire customer experience.
Exactly. It's about creating moments of delight that go beyond the transactional and make people feel valued and appreciated.
And those moments when they're shared online or through word of mouth become powerful testimonials for your brand.
Absolutely. They're authentic, relatable, and they come from a place of genuine enthusiasm.
So it's not just about the product itself, it's about the entire experience surrounding that product.
You got it. It's about creating a brand that people are excited to be a part of, a brand that they want to tell their friends about.
The article also emphasizes the importance of exclusivity and urgency as marketing tactics. But how do we use these strategies effectively without making customers feel pressured or manipulated?
It's about framing it as a reward for loyalty, not a scarcity tactic. For example, you could offer your email subscribers early access to a new product launch, or give your most loyal customers a special discount code.
That makes sense. It's about making them feel like they're part of an exclusive club, not like they're being pressured into buying something they don't need.
Exactly. And it's about being transparent. Clearly communicate the benefits of being part of your exclusive group and the value they'll receive.
This all ties back to the article's emphasis on authenticity, doesn't it? It's about being genuine, transparent, and true to your brand's values.
It does. And when you embody those principles, exclusivity and urgency become less about marketing tactics and more about rewarding your loyal customers and making them feel special.
Speaking of authenticity, the article also talks about the importance of transparency even when things go wrong. I think this is such a crucial point. In today's world where everyone has a voice online, it's impossible to hide our mistakes.
You're right. And trying to hide them will only make things worse. When you make a mistake, own it. Apologize and show your customers how you're working to fix it.
It's about being human and showing your customers that you're not perfect, but you're committed to making things right.
Exactly. And when you handle mistakes gracefully, it can actually strengthen customer trust and loyalty.
It's counterintuitive, but it's true. People appreciate honesty, and they respect businesses that take responsibility for their actions.
Absolutely. And it shows that you're not just focused on making a sale, you're invested in building lasting relationships with your customers.
The article then shifts gears and talks about the power of partnerships. I'm curious to get your take on how to find the right partners and how to create collaborations that are truly mutually beneficial.
Look for businesses that complement your product or service but don't directly compete. For example, if you're a florist, you could partner with a local bakery to create a special Valentine's Day package.
That's a great example. It's about more than just cross-promotion. It's about finding partners who share your values and who are committed to creating a positive customer experience.
Exactly. It's about finding those synergistic relationships where everyone benefits.
And when you find those right partners, the possibilities for collaboration are endless.
Absolutely. You can co-host events, create joint marketing campaigns, even develop new products or services together.
We've covered so much ground today, and I'm feeling inspired. What's one final piece of advice you'd give to someone who's just starting to explore the world of word-of-mouth marketing?
Don't overthink it. Start by focusing on the basics. Create a great product, provide exceptional customer service, and be genuine in your interactions.
And remember, word-of-mouth marketing is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time and effort to build those relationships and create those memorable experiences.
But the rewards are worth it. When you have a loyal following of customers who are passionate about your brand, they become your most powerful marketing force.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today, but there's still so much more to explore. Let's dive back into the article and see what other insights we can uncover. You know, one thing that struck me as we were discussing the power of partnerships is that it's not just about reaching new customers.
It's also about reinforcing the trust and loyalty of your existing customers, right?
Exactly. If they see you partnering with a brand they already love, that kind of strengthens their perception of your brand too.
Like a little stamp of approval from a trusted source. And hey, it can also introduce your brand to a whole new audience who are already kind of primed to like you.
It's brilliant, really. And another example of how word of mouth isn't just about getting people to talk. It's building those relationships, fostering trust, creating this whole positive ecosystem around your brand.
Absolutely. Which, again, brings us back to the article's big theme, authenticity.
I feel like we sound like a broken record, but it's so true. Authenticity underpins everything we've talked about.
It does, because without it, all the clever tactics, the strategies,
hmm
they just fall flat. People can smell a fake a mile away.
And when they sense you're being disingenuous, that erodes trust, hurts your reputation.
Exactly. Authenticity is about being genuine, transparent, staying true to your values. It's about relationships built on respect, on trust.
And when you do that, word of mouth becomes less about forcing it, more about creating something so good people want to share.
I love that. It's like shifting from manipulation to inspiration.
Now, the article also talks about making it easy for people to share their experiences. Any practical tips there? Because sometimes it's like you love something, but sharing it is a whole other hurdle.
Make it simple. Website, social media, easy to find, easy to follow, sharing buttons everywhere, website, emails. Oh, and create content that's actually shareable,
Yeah.
visually appealing, thought-provoking, or just plain FUN.
It's like you're giving them the tools and the invitation to spread the word.
Exactly. And when they do share, engage with them, thank them, show that you appreciate it.
Create that positive feedback loop. Sharing is encouraged. It's rewarded.
You got it. And don't forget offline word of mouth. Your employees, they can be amazing ambassadors. Give them the info, the talking points, so they can spread the word organically.
It's true. Everyone who interacts with your brand can be part of the marketing, in a way.
Exactly. And it all goes back to, you guessed it, authenticity.
Well, I think we've officially reached the end of our deep dive into word-of-mouth marketing. So much good stuff here. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty energized to put some of this into practice.
Me too. It's been a great conversation. And the big takeaway, for me at least, is that word of mouth isn't about tricks or gimmicks. It's about relationships, about creating those awesome experiences and having people who genuinely love your brand and want to tell the world about it.
Perfectly said.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening and feeling a little overwhelmed, don't worry, start small. Pick one or two things that resonate with you and just start doing them.
You don't have to do everything at once. Just take that first step and keep building from there.
And remember, the best word of mouth comes from being real, being transparent, and genuinely wanting to create value for your customers.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Keep those things in mind, and you'll be well on your way to building a thriving community of loyal fans who can't wait to tell everyone about you.
So well said. Huge thanks to our expert for joining us today. We'll be sure to include links to the article and any resources we mentioned in the show notes.
My pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those conversations going.